Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Yunita CAHYANI. Okay, here I will present an article from Husna Nurdini and Leni Marlina. The title is Vocabulary Journal as a learning tool for students in learning vocabulary through reading at junior high school. Okay, my table of content is the first introduction and the second is literature review. The first is introduction. Vocabulary is the best component that students need to master in order to be able in those language skills. Students need strategies to help them understand vocabulary through reading. However, vocabulary is not specially taught in teaching English in the classroom. Consequently, students lack of knowledge about words and it impacts their language skills. And then the learning strategy by using vocabulary journal is not a single learning strategy because it can be combined with other strategies. It means that teacher can offer the student variations of learning strategy. For instance, according to Bond in 2000, the implementation requires a journal to collect difficult or unknown vocabulary that students find while they are reading. In addition, this journal is used to explore the word's meaning, make connections between the new words and their own experiences and ideas, so that students produce a rich definition about the word. Furthermore, it will help students to remember the words if they find it in other texts by using this strategy. The next, literature review. The first is vocabulary learning strategy. Vocabulary learning strategies have become part of language learning strategy, which is proposed to encourage part of language learning strategies, which is supposed for encourage self-direction for learners, according to Ghazal in 2007, page 84. Self-direction concept is similar with learner autonomy, which has a goal to assist students to become independent learners and have their own responsibility in the learning process. And then differentiative vocabulary learning strategies into 4 groups. The first is metacognitive strategy, cognitive strategy, memory strategy, and the last is activation strategy. The first is metacognitive strategy. Metacognitive strategy is divided into 2 kinds of process: selective attention and self-initiation. The selective attention involves a process of indicating the important words in a text for comprehension. Then the second is cognitive strategy. Cognitive strategy is a strategy which is implicates guessing process using in dictionaries well and records the information. The third is memory strategy, split into 2 kind activities: rehearsal or making word lists and doing repetition, and encoding or associating image, visual, audio, and extra. The last is activation strategy, is a way of learning by using new words in a different context. And then the second point is vocabulary journal. The first is the concept of vocabulary journal. A vocabulary journal is one of the ways to facilitate vocabulary learning strategy. This journal is a kind of tool which is used by the student in learning vocabulary. The components include into the journal, there are 5 components, that is the target words, the meaning of the target words based on students' understanding, the example of a sentence which including the target word, the synonym or antonym of the word, And the last is a picture. These components are used to help the student understand the target word and they write in their journal. The student write the target word, the definition, the sentence, the synonym or the antonym, and the picture to describe and make a relation between the information and their comprehension about the difficult word itself. And then the second is the template of the journal. There are so many models of the template in using the vocabulary journal. In conclusion, vocabulary journal is one of the ways of vocabulary learning strategy that is news note-taking format. The journal uses a format of the template that will be used as a place for recording some information related to the target word. The target word can be the record and components above, including the target word, the part of speech, the sentence, the synonym or the antonym, and a picture in using the vocabulary journal. And then the next session is a discussion. The first we prepare for discussion is preparation for using vocabulary journal. For using the journal, there are some preparation that teacher needs to prepare. First, teacher needs to prepare a vocabulary journal for modeling. The second, student need to create their own vocabulary journal. For journal also, they need to prepare some stuff such as suitable notebook, colored pens, highlighters, and a good dictionary. The second is the vocabulary journal in classroom. Vocabulary journal will be used by the student in the classroom while reading. So, in order to make the student accustomed to use it, the teacher needs to introduce this vocabulary journal as a tool to learn vocabulary. There are 3 stages to the teacher can do it promoting this journal to the students. The first stage is the activity before the student reads their text and use their vocabulary journal. And then second stage is the activities that can be done by the students while they are reading a text. And then the last stage is the post-reading activities. And then by using this vocabulary journal, is there the advantages? Yeah, of course. The advantages using vocabulary journal at junior high school has that is the first advantages that students gain by using the journal or it helps them to add their vocabulary knowledge. Second, it acquires learners language autonomy because students have their own tool and strategy in learning and as reference system besides using a dictionary. The third, the journal will become their personal dictionary since it records vocabulary based on student preference. Number 4 is the journal is able to be used outside the classroom. And then the last is conclusion and suggestion. Vocabulary journal is a tool which helps students dealing with difficult or unknown words in reading. The purpose of this journal is to lead the student to become autonomous or independent learners in learning vocabulary since the vocabulary cannot be taught but kind. Using this journal, students can improve their vocabulary knowledge by doing some process of recording words. The second is a suggestion. Due to discussion of this paper, there are some suggestions that a writer needs to deliver both for the teacher and education researcher. The first Since the writer uses one of model template, teacher can design other models to add the model collection of vocabulary journal. And then furthermore, in encouraging for students, the teacher need to create their own vocabulary journal so that the student take the teacher as a model of real using. While the writer applies the use of the vocabulary journal in the second semester, it would be better if teacher introduce the suggest the student to use this vocabulary journal since the first semester. Then it is suggested for the teacher to provide the students a digital form of vocabulary journal so the student can process a journal which is long-lasting and resistant. Okay, that's all from me. Sorry for any mistakes and thank you.